Our business transformation means we are modernising our way of working to drive towards our shared goal of a secure and prosperous future. As a leading world-class company, as a business, we need to review all aspects of our operations on an increasingly regular basis to ensure that our people work in a safe environment and we are able to compete effectively in the marketplace. This includes reviewing how we plan deliveries. The system that we use to plan and review deliveries is called Pegasus.
Pegasus is a suite or collection of computer programs that we use to manage the information to create delivery routes.
So firstly, we use A+ to look at the individual delivery points and their plot on the background maps.
The delivery staff would be required to keep their walk logs up to date. You would enter all the information around individual delivery points, dog hazards or any other problem that there may be with each delivery point.
We really need to capture that information at that level and then take it into the applications as we're looking to create the final routes.
The next stage would be to move into map and verification and road network maintenance. That allows us to create the street network on which the delivery points sit. It's absolutely fundamental to get the accuracy of the information. You must reflect every road, footpath and access to properties as they appear on the ground.
Then we use GeoRoute, which is a tool where we import all the information in and create from there new balanced routes.
GeoRoute is a fast and effective tool based on all the information you give it. It creates deliveries and gives you timescales that can be met and kept in real life.
We're able to then sit down with the individual staff members for that unit, show them what we've created, talk through the scenarios that we've created and make changes necessary. What do you think about the bit that's coming off over there? And do you think we should have that in the beginning of the route or should we get it as we're coming off the end?
Head down.
And work backwards?
Yeah, and work back.
The delivery staff themselves have the experience and the knowledge, so we need to tap into that to make sure that what we are using to produce the routes is accurate.
Going up to the observer, you have to park the van up.
You have to go through a
and
gate.
go through a gate.
They're the professionals out on the road, so what we have to look at is making sure that they have as much input as they possibly want.
It has delivered routes that are fair for Royal Mail and equally fair for the delivery staff.
Let's now have a look at two routes, a high-capacity trolley route with Matthew and a shared van route with lightweight trolleys with Tracy and Alistair. We will see how the planning of the route covers issues such as travel, method, delivery, terrain, safety and security.
Here we have GeoRoute's creation of Tracy and Alistair's shared van routes. What we have are two delivery bursts delivered by Tracy and Alistair. This is the parking location demonstrated by the van in the centre. The orange will be done by one person and the grey by the other. This is one burst of the delivery, and what you can do using GeoRoute is follow the delivery order that GeoRoute suggests is the most effective way of carrying out that burst. And what that equates to for Tracy in particular would be 488 delivery points that she would be expected to visit 89% of those on any given day, with a first delivery to last delivery point time of 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Matthew's high-capacity trolley walk starts and finishes within a mile of the unit, and predominantly the terrain is quite flat. Matthew would start his delivery here at the delivery office and then walk out with his HCT to his first delivery point, which is here. We would then deliver his delivery coming up and down the streets, working his way to the furthest point and then working his way back. The typical type of delivery points that would probably be the back-to-back terraced houses. There would be some firms as it borders one of the main roads, plus there is also some flats and some semi-detached houses on the route as well.
The first period of outdoor activity would be the travel out time from the delivery office to the first delivery point. In the case of Tracy and Alistair's routes, that equates to 5.5 kilometres or 6 minutes of travel time from the office to first DP. Pegasus is not only for urban deliveries, it is also capable of handling rural deliveries as well as business and bulk drops. Each individual road type has its own national average speed attached, and the system uses this to calculate the travel time by van across the whole route.
As Matthew uses a high-capacity trolley on his route, the speed is calculated at slightly slower than if he was just walking on that route, and also it's slightly slower than if he was just using a lightweight trolley from a shared vehicle.
Service speed is the sections that involve delivering to address points. Path lengths are calculated by the system and obviously involve quite an amount of time, so it's important to get those right. Deadhead is the parts of the delivery that involve no delivery at all.
If we were looking at detached housing, they would be more spread out around the delivery, so there would actually be more walking time involved. For semi-detached and terrace housing, there would be less walking, and the system would take that into account.
We classify the terrain in 3 different ways, either flat, undulating or steep, and the system adjusts that speed accordingly.
Terrain influences our equipment selection on a particular route. During the planning stage, we would look at the terrain and then decide what delivery method was best appropriate for that route. With a high-capacity trolley, we would look primarily to make sure that the route was working downhill back towards the office. The system would build in time for each call, and it would also look at other factors.
It takes into account all things such as posting letters through the door, handing items over, time to use your PDA to record delivered items, getting signatures from customers for packets.
Okay. Can you print and sign in there, please? And put the time in the little box.
All right.
By planning the duties with this method, we plan effective parking locations, we minimise the crossing of roads, we minimise the weight on the shoulder, and observe the hazards that are stated on the individual walk logs.
On this particular route, security is quite an issue, so while we was looking at the tailoring of the route and discussing with Matthew, we looked at areas to site the HCT where it was predominantly in Matthew's eyesight as much as possible.
Where there are a high number of flats or multi-storey buildings on a route, there may be restrictions in the delivery method used because of security considerations. The delivery within a building is normally designed to start from the top floor and work downwards.
The planner would also be expected to add in time to the duty to allow for vehicle checks to take place, as well as the staff loading and unloading the vehicle. The system also adds in ancillary time for things such as collapsing and erection of trolleys, as well as allowing time for travel between delivery bursts.
We were involved through the whole process. We were asked to come in a lot and check the way it's done and if there's any different ways of doing the walks.
It would be more sense if Alistair did so many named houses on the front instead of me dropping them off.
By involving the staff and the managers within the unit, what we have produced is a set of deliveries that are achievable.
The postman and postwoman have got to put their own input into designing the walks, because if they leave it to somebody who doesn't know, it's not going to help them in the long run.
I would say get involved as much as you can with whoever's doing your walk.
I got listened to when I did mine.
As long as we do look at their issues and make sure that we're taking them into account and doing the changes that they think are necessary to be made. The feedback that I get from the staff is very good.
We asked the manager and union rep at Durham Delivery Office about people involvement, Pegasus and, to begin with, their relationship when it came to walk revisions.
Throughout the revision, Jason and myself worked really closely together. It was really sort of critical that we talked, we really understood what the revision required.
He understood that I had certain aspirations from any deployment, and I also understood where he needed to be.
Involvement and comms with all of your people is critical.
It's about involvement, it's about having the facility time to be involved as well, and that's something that I think is really important.
The people will help you drive and deliver your revision. The Pegasus system creates a route that is achievable, and there is no need to be walking at 4 miles per hour every hour. That to me is a myth.
Pegasus as a tool is very good in my opinion. The overall office I think is happier. I think there's a lot of positives that have come out of the deployment.
Pegasus and the suite of programmes it entails are the future for Royal Mail deliveries.
I don't carry no mail on my shoulder anymore. All the mail's carried by the trolley now. I get done in a realistic time. Everything's okay.